Well, with us right now from the third board is Jules Zalin, and we'd like to welcome him here. And we got kind of interesting things to talk about today, some different things. Am I right?
It's nice to be back.
Good to
here,
have you
Ken.
here.
It's good to see you again. Yes. The first thing I wanted to mention was that there is a new alterations procedure that has been instituted. Apparently, the people have been putting in alteration applications and getting them kicked back. And you know, it just wastes time and energy. There's now people can call the alterations desk at Town Hall and not Town Hall, at the administration building, and make an appointment with Rod Whiston. Rod Whiston will be your Jiminy Cricket. He'll sit on your shoulder and he'll walk you through the whole process. And if anyone has a pen with them, their telephone number, his telephone number, 949, is 268-2347, or just call the main number and ask for the alterations department for and resident services.
And
they'll
it's
just help
so
you
important
walk
to
it through.
do this, and regardless how long the procedure may take, you want to make sure that everything's done properly so you don't have bigger problems in the long run.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, historically, we have not been particularly careful about following up on alterations, but the procedure now is to be extremely careful and to get it done just right.
Yeah,
but his job is not to make it difficult. His job is really to make it easy for you.
Yeah, exactly. He'll walk you along.
Yeah,
and that's the important thing.
There's some other interesting things going on in the village. There is a proposal working its way through the various committees for an auto hobby shop, workshop, and a car wash.
Yeah,
right here
you told me this
village.
before we went on, and it's something I have not heard about. So kind of explain that.
It just came before the Community Activities Committee a few weeks ago. The idea is to get apparently a prefabricated building that comes. It's set up on site right in the village. There'll be 1 or 2 bays for actually working on your car, full set of tools, and at least a couple of car wash bays, professional car wash bays, where people can come in and wash the car. Right now, you can't wash your car for obvious reasons. And it sort of takes away something, because maybe it's a guy thing, but I was one of those guys that used to periodically wash my car when I did wash my car in my driveway.
Yes.
And there's something added to this as well. The point is, when you come in and it's more of a social gathering, you got a couple of guys that are interested in washing their cars. It's like in the olden days in a small town, you went to the town dump and you threw your garbage and you schmoozed with your neighbors. Yeah. And Laguna Woods is a very sociable place to begin with. So it just seems like and it's also a good way of avoiding having to pay like $20-25 to an auto spa to do something that a lot of people just want to do on their own.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just kind of being talked about. I mean, it's at the extreme beginning.
There's an actual proposal that I've seen distributed.
Okay.
It has a price tag, and GRF is going to have to originally fund it. So it's something that's more than just a daydream.
Right.
There's a lot of auto hobbyists that just want to play with their cars and wash their cars. And
well, I know we have a lot of folks in the village here that have collectible cars. We have that annual car show every year.
Sure.
And I know many of them may keep their car somewhere else just because they don't have the room for it here, or they don't have a garage for it here. Yeah. But it's very obvious there are a lot of folks here who really do enjoy that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
so that'll be nice.
I would enjoy it myself.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yes. The next thing that's quite exciting is the proposed Performing Arts Center.
Right.
The conversion of Clubhouse 3. This is a many-year project.
Yes, it is.
but they have a very high quality, heavily experienced architect group that has done, professional theaters and school theaters and community theaters, throughout Orange County. They've got a good reputation. They've gotten an engineering study already, and we do know that the building has good bones. I mean, there's work that has to be done on the building to bring it. It has to be brought up to code.
Right, exactly.
It needs an air conditioning system. Heaven knows anyone that we were there a couple of weeks ago for a meeting in the evening. We actually had to bring in a heater because the air conditioning couldn't be balanced.
Oh, wow.
It really needs to be.
Yeah.
It needs a new roof. But the main thing it needs is to redo the main performing space. The seats are too narrow. The seats are much too close together. You have to be a contortionist in order to wiggle your way through. And surprisingly, the levels, the stairs going up are not all even. So the whole idea is going to be to reduce the number of seats by at least 100, 150, maybe even 200, and to just make it more user-friendly.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
I know there's been a lot of thought into this, and they're just getting started. A while back, we had on Judith Troutman, who kind of went through the different steps that they're going to go through, and they have to decide what's going to be done right now, what may not be. And I do believe they even talk with some of the clubs, or in the process of talking.
They're in the process of talking. Each club is going to have their own, moment in the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
The most exciting thing from a performance standpoint is they're going to redo the stage, the dressing rooms. Hopefully, Fran will get her own makeup room.
Yeah, maybe she will. Yes.
But what the theater groups want is something which we traditionally called the black box, which is a big open space, or not so big, that can hold 99 or 150 people, but allows the audience to be moved around on platforms and parallels, so you can have a regular proscenium type presentation, or a horseshoe, or theater in the round.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
and it's something that's very good for small performance or experimental performances.
It would be wonderful,
whatever it might
right?
be.
It's sort of, you get lost. You totally get lost if you have a small, a small project in a gigantic theater. You'd almost have to curtain everything off, which
Right,
is
and most universities, colleges have all this.
It's amazing.
They have a large theater, then they have a black box.
Just terrific, absolutely. So it'll take a while, but. And it'll cost a few bucks, but we'll wind up with a much nicer space, and a space that really lets people know that when they come to Laguna Woods Village, they don't sacrifice anything.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how that takes place, but I know that the process is starting up.
Yeah.
And as I said, they'll figure out, there's different phases of it, how many phases will be done first, and what needs to be done versus what they want to have done. Yeah, obviously the needs come first.
It's going to be exciting. We're looking forward. There is another thing that concerns me that I think our residents should be aware of. Seniors are necessarily subject to advertising and promotional scams, and one of the major problems has always been auto repair scams. And I've recently had a couple of experiences with my two cars, both of which together I was given estimates of close to $5,000 to do work that for the most part just didn't have to be done.
Right.
Each time I got a second opinion. One of the jobs, which was like a $2,300 job, just was nothing more than a computer glitch. They put a computer on the car, it says check engine light, comes on. Most of the time, it's just a glitch.
Right.
But the traditional thing to do is turn off the code, reset the code, and if the light comes back on, then you know you got a problem.
Okay.
This guy wanted $2,300 right off the bat. The second guy simply reset the code, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
Another one was about $2,200 for 2 different leaks, one of which is a heater core leak, and heater cores are very difficult to handle. They're very expensive. turned out that all it was a radiator leak. It cost like $600 or $700, and that was the end of it. So what I would urge our people to do is to, particularly if they're inexperienced, they don't know much about auto repair, if they get an estimate that seems out of this world, maybe it is, get a second opinion.
Okay, that's good
Easiest
advice.
Easiest thing to do.
All right, very good.
So
and of course you took, you went ahead and did that yourself. So go ahead, not repair, but you got a second opinion.
No, I just got a second opinion, and
yeah.
you know, I got it all worked out.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't do that much driving. I ride around on my bike most of the time.
But still, you want to have a reliable vehicle.
Yes.
So, and that's a very good point to make. Anything else you'd like to add for today?
No, I'm just you know, I'm continually impressed by your ability to simply take, you know, scores, hundreds, maybe thousands of people, and to be able to make sense out of, you know, out of their meanderings. Well, so it's nice to be in the
I try to do my best. I don't know about that, but I appreciate you coming on. You know, when you talk about, although I'm not a car guy, so to speak, you seem to be. It's so fun to talk about things like that. We'll see what happens with that.
It's a guy
repair area. Yeah, the hobby area. That'll be interesting.
It'll be, yeah. They hopefully will have it right out here in back of our building.
Yeah. Well, we'll see about that. We'll see what happens. Good to see you as always. Always a pleasure to have you on.
Good to see you, Ken.
Thank you very much. And you know, as Jules said, and I think it's great advice, if you get some estimate for your vehicle, whatever it might be, really.
Sure.
Somebody just wanting to repair your air conditioning or whatever, it doesn't hurt to get a second opinion on anything. Am I right?
Right.
Yeah. Good advice. All right. We'll be right back. Yeah, that's amazing.